Hey, Justin here, welcome back. It's a beautiful spring day, so there's a lot going on, a lot to take a look at, so let's take a look. So start off with some terrestrial orchids out in the garden. These are Pleonis which have come up. They're just in bloom now. Some nice flowers out in the garden. And also got a Cypripedium here, which hasn't really opened up quite yet, but that will be opening up soon. Now we've got some beautiful acers, Japanese maples coming into leaf now. I've got a bit of a collection of them, so I've got quite a few different ones. That's Seryu is the name of that one, the clonal name, and another one here, a nice larger one. I think it's called Bloodgood, that one. I'm not too sure actually. This is my favourite one. Forgotten the name, but long since lost the name. But it's a really cool Japanese maple, which I got as a little cutting, a little grafting. I've had it for about, I think, 7 or 8 years, so they're pretty slow growing. I've got a few more different ones here. It's a Divaricatum, I think, something like that. And another one, quite an unusual one. This one is setting seed, so it's reached kind of maturity, I guess, that it can start to sow seeds. And another little one here. They're all about 8 years old, so these are very slow growing trees. So this is my Paphiopedilum philippinensis, variety Robelinii, which is in flower again. So it was flowering about 6 months ago, and now it's flowering again. So it's quite a compact, multifloral Paphiopedilum, which has clumped up nicely to the point where it's now flowering quite regularly, which is I think really nice for a multifloral, because oftentimes you might have to wait quite a few years, but this one now flowering regularly. And next to it, this is a no ID path. Not too sure what it is exactly, but looks like something like Sukakuli by Vinicolor, could be something like that. And next to that, we've got this beautiful golden yellow one, which is called Pedro's Moon. And this one is the primary hybrid of Armeniacum and Pinocchio. It's a really nice golden yellow path with nice big round pouches on it. So yeah, it's a really nice one. And this one is Delenatii roseum, the darker form, which is, this is the 3rd time this plant has flowered, so it flowers pretty much every year. And next to that, this is another one which I happen to have, which has never bloomed before, so it'll be a first time blooming on that one. That one has been a little bit less happy, but finally it's blooming. So got those two there, and here another one. It's another Parvisepalum, primary hybrid. I think it's, let me see, Linley Kopovitz, Paphiopedilum Linley Kopovitz. So this one, you can see is quite a tall spike on this one. It's a primary hybrid of Delenatii and Malipoense. So if you saw my last installment, Malipoense was in bloom on a 80 centimetre, that's almost 3 foot high spike. So, and that's the hybrid of that plus this. So if we put this next to it, then you can see that you just have to step back to get them both in. You can see the difference in the height of the spikes there. So Delenatii about 30 centimetres, and I guess this one is about probably 50 or 60 centimetres, and Melipoense 80 centimetres is the longest. So the hybrid is kind of intermediate in between those two. And what I would like to mention is that Delenatii has a beautiful fragrance. I think it's worth growing for that alone. It's tea rose fragrance is what it reminds me of. And Melipoense is known to have a bit of a raspberry type of fragrance. And this one has quite a faint raspberry fragrance to it, barely detectable really, but yeah, if you use your imagination, you can smell it. And this one is, I've got a couple of maxillarias in bloom. This one, I think it's Maxillaria cuculata, something like that. I've had it for many years, been a bit of a struggle. Some years it does well, some years it almost dies off. But this year it decided all of a sudden to flower very beautifully, which is great. And this one also has a nice fragrance. I think it's kind of a vanilla fragrance. Actually, it's more of a lemony, citrusy type of fragrance. And that reminds me, I skipped over it without noticing, but this is another tiny little maxillaria here, Maxillaria variabilis. And this one has a very strong, it's tiny little flowers, but quite fragrant. And the fragrance I could best describe as a pooey vanilla fragrance. So it's a little bit of a weird one. Might not be to everyone's taste, but quite interesting nonetheless. And I've got a couple of fells here as well. So this one is Metuo Reflex Dragon Blue 2 by Metuo Sunrise. Metuo Red, something like that. I have a bit of difficulty to read it without my glasses on. This one is not fragrant. This one, however, is fragrant. And that's a beautiful flower on that, opening up for the first time. This one also a lemony, citrusy type of fragrance. Just turn it around and get the label. So this is KS Red Zebra Kung Su. Just, KS Red Zebra Kung Su. Yeah, that's coming into that. Really nice colouring and patterns on that. And I've got another fel here, brown flowered with a kind of amethyst purple lip. It's just opening up. I quite like the colour combination. And this one is O.R. Singer by Tetraspis. That's that one. It's just opening up. The first time blooming. And I've got quite a few more fells coming into bloom as well. There's another one opening up there, so we'll take a look at that next time. This one is Amboinensis by Bellina, primary hybrid. Another very nice fragrance on this one. I think it's also a citrus type of fragrance. We've got Tetraspis here, just opening up. So I'll take more of a look at that next time. And that's a Violaceae there in bud. So quite a few fells coming into bloom, which is great. And up here I've got a nice Vanda in the glass vase culture. And this is Vanda bensonii, also another fragrant Vanda. It's a little bit more muted, I suppose, than some of the Vandas, the coloration and so forth, but if you look closely, it's quite fascinating pattern. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I enjoy growing the species. Probably prefer just to grow species, although the hybrids are often a lot easier to grow. And this does very well in the glass vase culture. I've got a number of other Vandas, quite a few actually, in glass vase culture, and they're all doing very well. This one also is in spike. I've got a few more in spike, so something for next time. But yeah, I do find them to do very well. And the way I do it in glass vase culture, I'll just show you how I water them, because you might be a little bit surprised. This is not, I haven't seen anyone else doing it this way, but this is through trial and error how I have the approach that I've developed, and it's not much more than this. Just put a tiny little bit of water into the bottom, and the roots are down into the bottom of the vase there, and they will drink that up. So within about 2 days it'll be completely dry. And so in winter I would do that once every week or two, and now at this time of the year twice a week. So just a tiny little splash of water in the bottom. Now the important thing here is that the roots must have access to the water. So if the roots don't reach all the way to the bottom, then you would need to put more water, or you need to put the plant into a smaller vase, something like that. But the advantage of this approach is that you don't need to empty the water out. So like I say, I've got quite a few Vandas that I'm growing like this, so it's quite a hassle if I have to be emptying them all out again every time. So I just do it like this, and it's perfectly fine. The water I use is rainwater with a little bit of fertilizer in there, quite a weak solution, which is the same water that I give to all of my plants, so I don't have any particular special care for the water as far as the water goes for the Vandas, and they grow really well. Every once in a while I will fill the water up to the top, maybe for a couple of hours or something, maybe once every 2 months. Do that just to ensure that the roots stay alive. But so with these Vandas, they like good light, and especially in winter. I don't grow them under artificial light, so they're just in the window, south-facing window, and the vase acts like a little miniature greenhouse. So that water that I've put in there, when the sun hits the glass, it starts to evaporate. It gets a very high humidity around the roots, which they like. It also heats up, which they also like. And it dries off, which they also like. So that's basically the recipe that we're going for. And the advantage of this approach is no need to empty the water out from the vase, to just let it drink the water. And yeah, every now and then I might splash in a bit too much. I keep an eye on them. If they're still wet after a couple of days, then I'll just tip it out. But most of them drink it. They're pretty thirsty plants actually, especially when they're growing. When the when the root tips turn green, then they're in active growth. So they're all coming back into active growth again now. I don't know if you can see that there, but after the winter rest, and then they're really drinking a lot. But it is important in winter to, especially here in the Netherlands, where it's not that bright, it's not that warm, it is important to cut back on the water quite significantly. Otherwise, they will tend to die off. They don't like to be sitting in water for long periods of time in the winter months. That's my experience. So that pretty much wraps it up. That's what I wanted to show. That's the update The last one here is this beautiful Gongora, which again, another very fragrant plant. Yeah, can't remember, I've got the name. What's the name of this one? From Equigenera, Cataligira. Let's see if I can just show you that. Get it in focus. Yeah, Cataligira. From Equigenera, almost killed it over the winter because it got a bit of a rot infection. I didn't treat it, I just stopped watering it, and it kind of survived. So did get a pretty big setback. You can see a lot of the plant died off, but it is coming back, so I think it will be alright. There's another flower spike on it there. It's a pretty tough plant. Put it out into the garden during summer. Yeah, so that's it. Hope your plants are doing well, and till next time. Bye.